I'm not known to get on the weekends, but I will get on during the weekday when I have a warning to give. Okay, so when I when it's something really important that I have to talk about spiritually during the weekday, I'll get on the weekday, but most of the time I won't. Uh, so I'm making me some decaf coffee here. I just wanted to give um, a warning here. I was told be careful of um, how many other people's voices and minds that you let in your space today. Okay, I was told private work, get resources to help you do the job or hire somebody to do some of the work, but try not to be exposed to so much online activity, like a lot of people talking. So avoid places online where there's a lot of social activity, um, especially if it's talking about the Akashic records. I noticed that when I did the video talking about achieving goals, all of a sudden the same people who always try to get my energy, they suddenly came up in my news feed talking about the Akashic records. And you know, in the video I did yesterday when I talked about achieving a goal, I talked about the Arcadian clock and accessing your Akashic records. Now these same leeches is trying to tell everybody like when you're supposed to get your Akashic records, or um, what Akashic records you're supposed to get. I was literally told to tell y'all to stay off those psychic channels today. Okay? I will explain why. It's important not to go to psychics to tell you what Akashic records you can get, how you're supposed to get them. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. We're going to wait till we get more people in here, because that can actually block you at that point. Okay? Your access to your Akashic records is supposed to be like a Christmas gift. It's supposed to be a surprise. It's hard to maintain the burning desire of whatever that Akashic record is connected with when you always know when it's coming, when you know what it's specifically for. Um, what'll happen is, because you know, you'll think that you can reschedule, or you can wait on it. This is why it's important to avoid psychic readings that are so deep, getting into your Akashic records, because your Akashic records is connected to your generational wealth. And when psychics delve into that, they're actually trying to spy. Okay? That's literally forbidden to reveal in a reading. Um, we could give you options of things you could do with your, you know, different talents and gifts, but we cannot get into the information of the Akashic records. And we're not even allowed to tell you when you will be let in specifically at that time. We can only tell you how to figure out. I can tell you how to figure out when you will be personally let in, but I can't publicize when you'll be let in. The fact that people are literally doing public videos, reading on people's Akashic records, is actually getting quite demonic at this point. I have been immediately deleting those videos in my news feed and immediately saying do not recommend. Okay? When we put our own Akashic records on these public platforms and people can watch the donations and the money, they'll take your record. The devil will take your record. If a psychic publicly reveal your Akashic records through your sun zodiac sign, they may actually say Leo Akashic records or whatever. That is inviting low vibrational people to access something they're not entitled to, but they're living in vanity thinking they are. Remember, the numbers of amount of divine people is very low. It's a low percentage. It's only like about maybe 300,000 divine people in the world, really divine in the world now. So that means the other half of the million people that's hanging out on these apps that is claiming that those Akashic records are for them, they're actually living in delusions that Akashic records are not for them. Okay? I'm telling y'all, take this seriously, because the burning desire is protected by the element of surprise. Once you get a little access of your Akashic records, then the feeling favored and feeling blessed feeling comes. But if you already know what you're going to get, then you're not going to be as in gratitude and grateful energy that you need to get more of that Akashic record, or to even expand on it like you could. So this is why it's important to not be trying to chase the specific information of your Akashic record or your money. Okay? Getting our money is supposed to be no different than going to a casino. Okay, where you're like, I don't know how much money is going to come out of here, but my intuition is telling me I'm on track. My connection with the Most High. See, the Creator has his casino, and so does the devil. And the devil's casino says, don't you want to go behind? Don't you want to go behind the machine and figure out how it's going to give you money so you can just like get ahead faster than anybody else? It pulls you. It also pulls you into a competitive energy, because it's like, if you know that that's what you're going to get, then the lack of humbleness won't be there. See, the humbleness comes as you're surprised by getting it. The excitement and then the gratitude kicks in and you're humble. But if you already know, then that leads you to bragging like, yeah, I'm covered and favored, and you start saying that stuff because you went to this high priestess that told you when money's coming, and then you have people that might speak against it because you're not humble. And they're speaking against you will work because you're not humble. Okay? So if you're going to try to figure out if you're on track with getting your Akashic records, that's okay. Okay? That's okay to figure out how you've been holding yourself back in your path. That's okay. But being told this is how you will get your Akashic records, like someone else knowing that, that's actually pretty scary. Okay? A random psychic should not be telling you that. It should be someone who's already been your guide for a while. Okay? Someone who is willing to let you see them and speak to them. Y'all all have seen me on this channel. But I'm noticing that there are psychics who don't let themselves be seen, and they want to talk about somebody's Akashic records. You can pretty much put two and two together, why they're doing that. They want to be in your business, and they don't want you in their business. If anyone's going to read on me with my Akashic records, I should be able to see their face. Okay? So, hi everybody. The number one is the synchronicity, y'all. So I really hope y'all take this seriously, what I'm saying about not being so curious all the time to spy on your angels and see what they're doing for you. Okay, sometimes your faith is being tested, and when you run, I don't know what I did with this coffee. Okay, there it is. We'll do it like that. When you run to immediately go get confirmation about your money and Akashic records, you're telling the Most High that you don't have faith that you're favored and covered. Now, here's the problem with going to public readings and people doing public readings about Akashic records and money. Anybody and everybody can step into the comments. Okay, what ends up happening is some people may say, oh, my intuition told me to click on that. But they may just be tapping into a positive energy that's somebody else's. One thing I learned is just because your intuition tells you money's going to come there, it doesn't mean the money's for you. Y'all, your personality and your lifestyle and your interests still have to already have been determined and in alignment with that money. There are people using their intuition to tap into where the money's flowing at, and then they're switching to that specific character that would get that money. And it's not even who they are. This is how shapeshifters cheat the metaphysical system, go into a back door into the metaphysical world and cheat. Jumping from character to character to character through using their intuition when they're in a positive energy, using their intuition to spy on other people's frequency, and then flipping out of the positive energy through shape shifting into someone else to get the energy, to get the money that their intuition told them could be gotten. This is one of the reasons why the creator don't like deviation when it's used to reveal Akashic records or how someone will get their money. Hi everybody. Anyone can do it. Any of y'all can do it. Y'all can get in a positive vibration, be in a faster state, and then you can use your intuition and you might be told, yeah, this will be successful, that will be successful. But just because you're told that will be successful doesn't mean it's for you. You must have already been in alignment. The way you go about your day, the things you have been doing, your dreams, even how you treat yourself, it should already match. Otherwise, that intuitive download about where success can be gotten, it's not for you. It's like you're looking at someone else's Akashic records. And the only reason why you could look at it is because you've been around their energy a lot and you're in a high vibration at that moment. See, I teach stuff. This is what it means to be in the presence of a real high priestess, where I give y'all warnings for even your non-traditional spiritual practices. Other psychics are not going to do this because a lot of them is just chasing the bag, y'all. A lot of them are living in fear that their needs won't get taken care of. So they're scared they will lose you as an audience if they tell you the risky side of getting hooked on getting psychic readings, especially when you're supposed to have breakthroughs. Okay? The thing is you can get a reading and you can be all in the in-between like we are now, and in the in-between, gotta take that leap, gotta finally do it or whatever. Temptation is there for you to spy on your metaphysical space, to get stronger. Okay, next thing you know, you're using 4 or 5 cards, you're going to 3 or 5 high priestesses, you're like surfing the psychic world, and then you're giving so much of your vibration away in that the little opening that was supposed to nudge you that it's time to do the work, you miss it. Okay, you can miss energy opportunities through living in fear, through psychic hopping. Okay, when you're in the in-between, that means your faith is in the ultimate test. Are you going to work on getting your spirit up without having to get so much confirmation of what will happen when you do? Hi, everybody. If you are telepathic like I am, most people who are learning to master certain energy, especially air energy in this life of theirs, we tend to be telepathic. If you're dealing with toxic telepathic, you actually need some more alone time. You actually need to minimize how much you're exposed to so many minds of society. And that includes so many different minds that are being used psychically. Okay, you're probably someone that is supposed to be a high priestess. So you have to set up more boundaries and be like, okay, like the psychic world, I have to hang out there at a minimum. Let me tell you, A psychic is actually supposed to have a small group. They're not supposed to be so big and big and big. You will find that you're fighting for your psychic abilities. Anything can be harvested from your metaphysical space, including your psychic powers. I know that sounds like wow, somebody can ride on my psychic powers. Yes, they can. And some people will keep track of the elevation time of your psychic powers, of when you're in your power and they're not, and they will just tune into your frequency to harvest a little bit of strength of your psychic power so they can get that psychic power even though they didn't earn it. Okay? So this is why if you ever notice, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a telepathic person, you have to avoid being around quiet people. Meaning people that's quiet around you all the time. I know some of y'all think I'm picking on introverts, but I'm an introvert extrovert. I'm not picking on introverts, but what I can tell you is that you will start to realize that those people are suddenly becoming telepathic like you. Okay? When you are saying to people who are quiet all the time, yeah, I got this download, I got this information, I got this, they're tuning into your frequency. Okay? We always say, we're told, be careful of the quiet and the silence and the dark. It's no different than being around really quiet people all the time when you are telepathic. Okay? This is why if someone doesn't ebb and flow talking to me, and I've already showed them, I get downloads and I give them wisdom. I already gave them wisdom and guidance, and they're locked into that quiet energy. I already know that they're trying to ride my frequency. And when you're in the in-between, when you're trying to take a leap, you are literally being stalked by people who are trying to jump on a frequency that will quickly get them out of their purgatory or their in-between state. People get desperate when they're in fear and anxiety and don't know to take a leap. They're afraid to take a leap. And then what they do is they start frequency shopping. Okay? And that is when I know when you're in the in-between, you think it's time to be more in society. No, it's time to be in small groups. I know that sounds wild because you would think that, oh, you need to go out there and just venture. But you're in the in-between because there's some inner mental work that's being done on your vibration by your angel guides, by the Holy Spirit. Okay? That would be the air energy, the angelic energy. Basically, you're in the shadows that's between the light and our dimension. So you have to work on your frequency and protect it so that the light angels can better connect with you. But if you are exposed to all these different frequencies, they have a hard time connecting with your frequency. The Holy Spirit will have a hard time connecting with it. It's like you're trying to get a phone call from God, but you letting all these other calls come through. I know that sounds wild, but this is why actually when you are in the in-between, you really should be doing like at least a little mini technology detox. You should have less technology, social time. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's swapping energy. This is why it's very important to try not to reveal your powers unless it's literally for profit. I know that sounds, or you're in a small group and you trust everybody. And people that's in your group have helped you already. They consistently show up when you need them. Otherwise, you need to literally keep your powers revealed, your powers exposed at a bare minimum. People keep track of how often they're exposed to your power, especially strangers. They don't know you. They don't care about your boundaries like that. So this is why if you have any psychic abilities, All right. You know that it's like sometimes they're real active. You need to work in smaller groups and really try to avoid um, being exposed to so many different type of commenting type apps where everybody's commenting. You'll find that right when you're feeling like you're getting a message from God, other people's brain pressure is coming through. And you can't explain where this pressure is coming from. You may actually start to get migraines and headaches like I do. It's almost like a mind invasion. And if you went to tell people, they'd be like, no, you're insane. But you can literally feel that it's not quite physical causing it. It's something in the air, spiritual, causing it. When I get that, and I was getting that recently, I literally just like, I'm going to have to separate myself. And I noticed another family member was getting it too. So they were like really isolating themselves as well. um, One of my destiny soulmates was also getting the pressure, and we both had to sleep more. When you sleep, you do kick other people's mental energy out of your chakras. So if you're in the in between, you do need to prioritize taking a nap to release the energy that's coming through. There's a lot of energy dumping when you're in the in between. When people are in the in between, they start to think about their trauma and they start to be desperate for help with their trauma. They don't know that all the dumping on technology is affecting you when you have telepathy, or when you can when you're highly intuitive. Everyone born is not, and I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings, but everyone born is not a celestial or angelic being in a body. This is not to say that they're demonic or low vibrational. They might just be straight up just earth energy, okay? But then some of us are celestial and angelic, angel vibration in our bodies. We have to have a different life than most of the population, and it requires isolation time. This almost has to be on a weekly basis, where you're like, okay, I'm feeling that in between energy. It's a lot trying to come through. I'm gonna go ahead and go up in the woods somewhere where all that technology energy is not coming through. It got so bad in here this past couple days for me. I couldn't even have the TV up to even hear it. I couldn't even have the fan up on number 2 setting. I literally could not even stand the sound of my cats meowing. If they just meowed a little loud, it was like, oh my goodness, that was torturous. That's just how much voice is being used right now, throat chakra, in the atmosphere. Yeah, I actually be having random thoughts that I notice not my own. It's like random thoughts of people coming through. I go through the same thing. Little, even our family members are little whispered thoughts and stuff. It's like really wow. Whenever I start to get that, and also it'll be, sometimes it'll be a thought coming through that's not me. That's not even how I would talk or what I would think. When that happens, I will actually play classical music, because that means my vibration is starting to be worked on so hard that anything that's not my frequency is getting pushed away. So that's what I did 2 days ago. I just played classical music after classical music because I was like, the mental energy is coming in. It's like all coming to me, and I need to be able to focus on my goal, but it's like causing anxiety. Somebody said 100% peace and blessings. Oh, so I was literally told to watch your temperance energy. I want to talk about that, because just because you are on edge sometimes and upset mentally, it doesn't mean that it's your fault. Sometimes it's just too much going on with the technology energy. It's the electrical current of all the toxic mindset, and it's starting to push you like energetically, and your patience is gone, even though you're like, why don't I have any patience? So when that happens, you need actually more silence and quiet, or you probably need to hear just hear nature. You need to not hear humans a couple hours out of your day. You just need to not be exposed to human energy. You're very welcome. What I find helps me with the temperance energy is to air clean. The air, when your temperance energy is unstable and you're irritable and you're like, I can't tolerate a lot, it's there's been negative energy put into your atmosphere, and it's heavy. So the air needs to be cleaned. You may want to clean your fans out, like, wash your fans with vinegar and water, since low vibrational spirits cannot stand vinegar. My mother was an oracle, and she would drench the house in vinegar like 3 days a week. And I just remember everybody always getting along when she was doing that. I remember like people could control their tempers and everything. Uh, Vinegar has a way of like kicking the negative energy out. Like it will run out of the space. So I normally use um, jasmine, bloom, blossom, and maybe lemon and some a citrus maybe and vinegar. I may make my own potion, and I'll just like drench the room from head to toe, and the room that I want to be at peace in, and then I'll go in there, and after about an hour where all the negative energy has settled to the floor, okay, then I might do a little sweeping of the pathways, sweep the pathways to get the dust, the fallen energy. See, we can't see it all the time, but it's actually, if we saw it physically, it would be like somebody just dropping ashes and rotten dirt on you, if you could actually see it. So I sweep it out. Now, what I like to do as well in the in-between, when it's like, you're like, I'm almost ready to put the grind to get this done, I like to freeze the room out, keep it cold. If you're getting overheated when you're thinking of finishing a project, that heat is not from God. That heat is actually from hell. That heat is not that's not from your angels. The angels want you cool and refreshed when it's time to finish a project. Heat is used to get you motivated and to get you started first on a project, to clean and to detox you. But when you're like, okay, I need to get started, it's the cool energy. When you are like in the in-between, you're irritable, you're like, I'm tired of hearing everybody's mouths and stuff, you actually need cool air. You don't need your tiger's eye. You would think that you do. You'll be tempted like, yeah, I need tiger's eye for confidence. But tiger's eye, what I learned, is actually not really supposed to be used for that. The devil is telling you to use it for confidence when it's really supposed to be a driving force once you get started. To get started, it's supposed to be coolness. This is why I think Prince lived only in places that were cold or cool. He swore by the fact that because he lived somewhere cool, the negative energy couldn't get him. That's what Prince said, and I agree with him. Because whenever I allow my body to stay cool for hours, especially by like fresh air cool or ice, I noticed that there's a humble, peaceful confidence, not the hellfire confidence. Now, once you're cool and you're like, okay, I'm ready to slowly do this work in peace in mind, when you're struggling to keep doing it while you're already in flow state, then you can put on tiger's eye. Then you can light a tiger's eye candle. But I learned never to put it on beforehand, which I will teach in a workshop about the proper use of tiger's eye. People tend to do tiger's eye a lot when it's like manifesting time, law of attraction, trying to start a new business. People are starting new channels, getting new businesses, starting new things. They run for the tiger's eye. But there's actually, for any stones that you do decide to use, there are rules. There's even Akashic records and guidelines for using any stone of this earth. Just like food. We have guidelines for food. We have guidelines for marriage. It's the same thing with stones. Like, if you use them wrong, I'm going to tell you no lie, you will literally get yourself in horrific medical condition. I'm telling you no lie. I'm telling you no lie. You will manifest some serious medical problems. You may not know because the stone is like controlling your energy. And then you may actually get into some real serious stuff with people. So I'm going to have a class talking about the proper use of stones. People tend to want to run the stones when they're in between because they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm this fear, anxiety, I'm stressed, irritable, whatever, what. I need some stones to get me going. The thing is, you have to know the rules, okay? And the size of the stone matters as well. If you're going to use tiger's eye for a little push out of the in-between, it needs to be a very small stone. Because a lot of your motivation needs to come from within your own state of being in your mind. Okay? Hi, everybody. All right. Now, what I was told today is the Creator trying to bless, the Creator trying to give destinies to people who understand the power of one. I heard the power of one this morning. And I heard, like, do one in everything. That's what I heard. So I had my tea for 2 hours, y'all. I did not put no food on the table. Then when I did eat, I had chicken noodle soup, and that was it. I didn't have nothing on the side. And I found that one number, it does something where your strength with God is more protected. Okay, now I understand why when people feed horses, they don't feed them a bunch of random stuff. That would be something that a low vibrational goat would do. You know how goats are used to eat a whole bunch of different trash? They just eat all this trash. Now, I'm not saying that goats is not necessary, but I don't like how people use goats to clean up their trash. I think that's disrespectful. I think that is like, that's no different than using your grandma to clean up your dirt all the time. To me, that's like elder abuse. Whenever I hear about people taking goats, because they do that here in Pennsylvania, they go get a bunch of goats and make them eat up all the trash. I think that's animal abuse. Just because they got the gut system to do it don't mean they want to do that all day and eat somebody else's trash. Their gut system is for eating their own trash. I think that's animal cruelty. But I know if I went to ever complain, they would say, no, it's not, because the goat's stomach can handle it. That doesn't mean you do that to them. But with horses are like one. Okay? Horses is like cool with another horse. That's it. Horses are actually pretty cool by themselves for ridiculously long periods of time. Without talking, without even doing nothing with another animal. Just standing around. They also fine with just eating an apple. You could give a horse an apple and the apple will not, and he will not complain for anything else. This is why I think it's very abundant to have a horse as an animal, because the horses teach you gratitude. Gratitude for being wanted and needed. And gratitude for having any energy. Like 2 apples and then use that as your energy. Like horses teach us this. We think that they're eating a lot of food, but they're actually not. Okay? They're actually not according to their body, bone structure, and weight. They're actually like eating exactly what they're supposed to eat, but they're also respect for one. They don't even like multiple owners. They're like, cool, I got one horse trainer, I'm good with that. I think the humans need to get into that energy. Because when you get into that one energy, you have a lot of space left. See, the Creator likes space to bless. The Creator wants your percentage of space, even inside your stomach, to be high. So, like your stomach throughout your day should literally be like 90% spacious. If you really want to really want to get into getting your Akashic records and really harnessing your psychic abilities. So, when people say staying hungry, it's not necessarily staying hungry. Redefine it and say staying empty, staying spacious, staying roomy. This is things that the Virgo and even the Capricorn can teach us. Okay, and horses as well. So I like to do animals because I feel that the human races have gotten so toxic and messy. Half the time, it's like I don't even trust hearing things from the human race no more. My trust issue, I have trust issues with that. So I don't even like to really do psychic stuff that has humans on them anymore. I trust the animals more now. So, I mean, that's just me. So when I do oracles, and if I go into that, I like animals. Now, I find that in the in-between, you need personal, private psychic work. This means you do your psychic stuff for yourself or you don't tell nobody. As a matter of fact, you're better off making everybody think that you're stuck, that you don't got no plans. Because if you're in the in-between, if you're ready to take a leap, a lot of other people are too. And a lot of people are wondering if it's the right leap. This means you have to be quiet about your leap. You shouldn't talk about it. You're better off not even writing it down. You're better off just doing like 111. Like, I only got one thing to do with my leap this morning. So I don't even have to write it down. I do one thing with my leap, like all cleaning. That's it. All cleaning. The other day, I decided to practice doing that. And all I did was shampoo carpets. And I could tell my family member was kind of looking at me like, why ain't you doing the dishes? And why ain't you doing the toilets too? I just ignored them because I knew I was on to something. So all I did for 2 to 3 hours was carpets only. Then I rested for about 30, 40 minutes. And then I went and did dishes only. I did not hop from one thing to another. This allowed me to not even have to write down my goals. I didn't have to write down my house goals because there was no way they were going to be even anywhere near. I also got a download this past week that said, be careful of people programming your belief programming. That's what I heard. Like, people programming your belief programming. People telling you how to program your belief system. One thing I found out is when you follow that, your mind will actually start to be very codependent on that process. And guess what? If it's a programming process somebody told you to do and it's outside of yourself, like writing down goals, guess what's going to happen? When you don't have a pencil and paper to achieve your goals, your mind's going to be like, no, you didn't write it down. See what I'm saying? This is why I believe the only belief programming that matters is that really it should matter and be really glamorized is the one that you do in your mind. Don't ever become codependent on any other process. Like, for example, when they tell writers you have to write it down, who says we have to write it down? There's audio recordings. I could audio record this. Who says I have to write down my goals before I get started? I never hear Stephen King doing that. And he doesn't even write down the ideas when he travels. He believes that you will remember whatever you're supposed to write down when it's time to write, you will recall it. I agree with the man. I put it to the test. I would get ideas as I'm going for walks and stuff, and I would write them down. And then when I would sit down and write 2 hours later and I would meditate on my walk, suddenly I would remember, and the things I would remember would be like the best stuff. I believe that a lot of people in society are still low key garbage collectors, even with ideas. Like, downloads is not that significant for them at the time, but because they came through, they kind of think they are. Rather than creating distance from that download and then seeing, after the distance is done, then seeing, is that download really important? That's what I did today. I got the download about cutting back on like how much I try to do at once on my work. I said I'm gonna put some distance from that, and I didn't think about it for like 3 hours, and then all of a sudden I said, you know what? I feel like that's right, and I knew it was right then. And then I said, well, I went online to look for a small group, and sure enough, the group that I found is the only group that I found. But yet it was in direct alignment to the process I was going to start using once I got done with this project. And I said, that's confirmation. But see, what happened was because I did not be clingy with that Akashic record download, and I just let it just marinate, I was also given an additional extension of that download. See what I'm saying? It came 3 hours later. Intuitively, I was drawn to the extension of it. So I got confirmation that how I'm supposed to set up this project is how is actually related to this workshop that I found. And I was told, don't depend on workshops like that no more. I got bare minimum. I was like, that's wow, because, we're supposed to be fruitful, but then I got fruitful has nothing to do with like having to always be in a group. Fruitful is also working with the garden that you got. So, the seeds that you got already. So I said, I'm going to cut back down to like 10% group workshop. 1 workshop a day. 2 at the max. Never back to back. That's what I said. And then all of a sudden I felt my temperance energy start to get better. And all of a sudden when I normally would crave, I would normally want more food to eat with my breakfast. All of a sudden I ain't want it. See what I'm saying? It's really all connected. If you in needing, greeting energy outside of yourself, that's exactly what you're going to be in when you go to eat. That's the energy you're going to be in relationships. That's the energy you're going to be in when you take care of yourself. See what I'm saying? It's all energy transferring. That's the energy you're going to be in when you go to these psychic groups. When you're in between, you're just going to go from one reader to another, to another, to another. I find that action, this is going to sound complicated, but I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. I find that action quantity also can become very habit forming. And it's not always good, even if you benefited from it a little bit. Because that might be an action you can do without. Maybe you could have benefited from ever without even doing that action. Like benefiting from even being in a bunch of groups. Maybe you was able to do all that, get it yourself, those ideas, by just being by yourself most of the time. I know that is deep, but it's like, wow. The world is hooked on group activity and in denial. The world is like, I'm going online. I don't need people, I'll go online. I don't need people, I'll go online. But guess what? You're going online because you still need people. You're going to the apps to talk, to look, to search, to comment, whatever. So actually we do need more scheduled time alone. Like now there has to be like scheduled in alone where we're not even online around people. Hi everybody. Yeah, I was told to eat like the horse. So that's what it's different for everybody. And I want you to know that. Like your diet for your metaphysical being is different for everybody. So I was told don't eat no meals no more. I was told no meals. I was told that an apple is a meal for me. I know that sounds wild. That actually sounds ridiculous, but John Asarf talks about how achieving it can get easier achieving when you reduce it to ridiculousness. Okay, we know that when we see haiku writers writing 2 lines, people say that's ridiculous, but Richard Wright, an African American poet, he's literally was world renowned for his little 2-3 line words. I find that if it's not ridiculous, the abundance is questionable. That's just me. I start questioning whether it's really abundant. Okay. I just I know it's wild because people see their bodies nowadays like it's a truck, like fill up your tank and then go about your day. People can't imagine like going to the gas pump over and over and over and over again. But guess what? Our bodies don't even need food like that. It really don't. We don't even need to eat a big meal and a big one. We don't even need one big meal. Like, it's wild that we've been trained to need the food that we're eating. Well, most of it we don't even need. The body, when I did research into the 1950s, believe it or not, even back before that, they was eating no more than 60 grams of protein. Even though today it's like, oh, you need 100 grams of protein. Who said that? Like, who said that? Because they were eating 60 grams of protein in the early 1900s and all that, and they were doing just fine. A lot of them still had their teeth. Just think, like, when you eat more food, you're using more of your teeth. You're using your teeth more. Like, you're still using energy to eat food. I know people don't think that your frequency in eating, the large amounts, or how much you're putting in your body at once can interfere with your power, but it actually can. When I was at my strongest psychic abilities, I was literally no more than 160 pounds, and I remember going ridiculously long periods with only the smallest meal. I would have like salmon and maybe some spinach, and it would be like, that would be like at like 9:00 p.m. and I literally wouldn't even eat till like the afternoon the next day. Only thing I might have had was like tea. And I remember my psychic abilities were so loud that it was like, wow, this is wild. You need your psychic abilities at full strength to become a master in something fast as possible. You need them almost at full power. You don't need your body at full power. You need your psychic abilities at full powers. And your psychic abilities do not need food. It don't. Your psychic abilities will literally empower you. It will give you energy that you didn't even know you could get. This is why people will go ridiculously long periods without food, and you'll say, where does energy come? It's not just coming from their body eating fat, because you'll notice that the skinniest people, when they're fasting, they're still in high energy. How is that possible when their fat percentage is so low? It's because their metaphysical version of their self is so charged up and powered that it's literally jolting their body with electrical energy. So that's why they're energized, even though they don't have any fat to get energy. Hi, everybody. Yeah. I love feeling empty. Y'all, I am glamorizing an empty life. Praise the Most High. I even pull y'all, I don't like how this, we're gonna test to see how this coffee turned out. It's decaf, y'all. Decaf. And I'll explain to y'all why I drink decaf coffee. Coffee is important for people who have had a concussion or um, liver problems. Okay, if you like have genetic liver problems in your family, or you've had some enzyme problems with your liver, a small cup of decaf coffee, it works wonders. I actually had a doctor tell me this, and I tested it. I was never a coffee drinker, and I do feel the change in um, my body, like the spasms on my right side, they don't happen anymore, and my brain doesn't feel so low in my head from the concussion. I can feel like my brain kind of balanced out. Okay. This is a very dark roasted coffee. Decaf. I've been experimenting with my French presser, y'all. So we're gonna try this again. I'm gonna use less. I'm trying to get my measurements exactly how I like them. I'm a person now that customize my food. I don't really. It's like, even if you make me food and you tell me how to cook it, if it's not customized, then it's not going to be beneficial for my eating healthy journey. I was thinking the other day, using the word weight loss is toxic. Some words have become toxic, so I don't use weight loss. I just say energy. That's what I do. Because if I say I'm eating for energy, then of course there's no way I'm going to overeat. There's no way I'm going to be eating food that puts weight on me, because the food that puts weight on you does not give you energy. It's hard to overeat when you eat for energy, because you're getting energy as you're eating the food. So then your body's like, okay, I'm not that hungry. The hunger's going away because I'm energized. So I find that redefining the way we speak in our law of attraction helps us to automatically stay mindful when we're taking action. So I don't do weight loss. I noticed when I was saying weight loss, I think my body went into panic and was like, oh, time to store fat. But as soon as I said I'm not using that anymore, I'm using energy. Time to get some energy. I noticed that my belly started to shrink. It's like some sort of in the metaphysical world, it's like a power phrase to say that. Because it's almost like it's encouraging my angels to intuitively give me downloads that is for healthy eating. Okay? When you say weight loss, and you might be triggered like, okay, burn calories. See, there's all different kind of 2,000 ways that will come into your metaphysical space that's related to weight loss. But there's only one for energy, and that is healthy eating. There's only one. Y'all been getting deep. Okay. Words, I'm telling you, words is more powerful than we think they are. Look how excited I am about a cup of decaf coffee. That's how we're supposed to be about everything. But if we're eating a lot of it at one time, we're doing a lot of it at one time, it's hard to have that gratitude for it. Okay, y'all, let me go ahead and do that. I don't want that teapot whistling in my ear. I can't take that high-pitched sound right now. Okay. I burnt me some jasmine, and I was like, woo! That's exactly what I need. I burned me, I'm actually going to be giving up my stones, y'all. I'm going to donate my stones. I don't want them anymore. I'd rather deal with the incense. I don't like how it seemed like some unknown energy try to step in and try to control me whenever I put on a stone or they try to control the stones. If I do keep the stones, they're literally going to be across the room, in a corner of the room, but not actually in my actual space. So that I just get a vibrational echo of them and not the full force of the stone. These stones are stronger than we think they are. We look at these little stones and be like, oh, they ain't that strong. They ain't strong. When you're a receiver and you're a strong empath, you know how strong those stones are. One little stone to an empath feels like somebody just held up a super large version of that stone. Sometimes someone speaks and you are trying to understand, but they misunderstand what you say or find reasons seemingly purposely. Yeah. Someone speaks and you are trying to. This is why I love writing, y'all. I disarm those people. I'll just write it down. They get upset. I have a family member who does that. And I say, you know what? I'm going to just write this down. I know what I'm talking about. I know that I'm making sense and I know that I'm logical. And since somehow you're hearing something else, let me tell you why some people will be like that. I know you don't want to believe this, but they are hearing you. They are hearing something else. Some people got demonic energy talking to them while you're talking to them. I picked that up with a family member that kept on saying I said something that I didn't say. And I'm like, no, I didn't say that. But somehow something came through in their mind and altered what I said. And so that's what they heard. And it became like a real demonic argument we had. So I started saying, look, when I told the little demon around him, I said, you keep this up, I'm going to write stuff down, okay? And I noticed that the demonic energy stopped warping and distorting what I said in their mind. Like, as soon as they would hear me say something, it would be quickly warped and distorted, and then they would say I said something different. But when I told that demon, I'm going to record what I say, and I'm going to take note of what I said, all of a sudden it stopped. This is the true story. It got so bad in here to hear where they was hearing me saying something different. Their mind was, some demon was warping and distorting what I said, that we ended up having police called here. Police was called to this house 3 times over that. It got to a heated argument. I was like, no, I did not say that. And I was like so upset. And they're like, yes, you did. And then one time I said something that had nothing to do with what they thought I said. And they reacted to it. And they broke something of mine because they thought I said I was going to break something of theirs. When I did not say that. So they tried to beat me to the punch of something I didn't even say. When I realized how far that demon was taking that person, I just looked at them like shocked. Like I decided not to react anymore. And then I waited until it was quiet for a while. And then I said, I really did not say that. And I guess somehow they got confirmation intuitively that I didn't say that. And they apologized and they actually replaced what they broke. And they were like, I'm sorry, I just thought that's what you would say. You said, and they said this, y'all, this is no lie. They said the demon showed them me doing it. That the demon told them I said that and showed them that I did something that I did not do. The demon had put a vision in their head at the same time, y'all. When I tell y'all this demonic energy is real, it is. Yeah, it was trying to, it did that in here. It jumped from my husband to my daughter. It literally jumped from my husband to my daughter. And it kept jumping back and forth between the two. First it was jumping to him. And then it started jumping from him to my daughter, and then the police came. And the funny thing about it though, when the police came, it was like they couldn't even say what they heard. That fast, They didn't even remember what they claimed I said. And I was like, they said something, I said I did something, and I said that I didn't do. I can remember, but it was like they were like totally mind blown. Like, no, I didn't say that. That no, that's not what I heard. It's so it was. I was like, there was a, and it always went on in the same spot in this house, in my daughter's house. It always went on next to the doorway of the couch, and I when I started to figure it out, that's when I started cleansing that spot a lot. And then I noticed, like now when my daughter visit, that doesn't happen anymore. And I also noticed she won't sit in that spot. I guess she kind of sensed that something was messing with her energy to turn her against me, warping, distorting what I'm saying. So now I noticed that she only sits on the left side of the living room and never on the right. And I decided to move all my stuff to the left because I don't got time for that energy. You have to be very careful when you're in the in-between because you're at risk of having thoughts that's not your own. When that temperance energy is unstable. You also have to be careful who you trust because you might attract like serial killers and stuff like that. You might not be able to sense the true vibration of their frequency. You have to pick your friends and social interactions wisely. I'm telling you, it's a vibration. I felt vibrational manipulation this week. I actually said it to a family member. I said, I sense mental manipulation energy and I don't have time for that. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I was like, I'm having me some chicken soup because my throat chakra was under heavy attack. And the left side of my head was, and it was weird. They said no. I said, no what? I said, did you just say no, I can't have chicken soup? And they looked at me real funny like they didn't even remember saying that. Y'all. And I just looked at them like, what spirit told you that I can't have chicken soup? They just looked at kind of shocked that the word came out of their mouth. Oh, I'm telling you, better be careful. Because I said, I'm having some chicken soup, and they were like, no. I stopped in my tracks this morning and looked over and was like, did you just say no for chicken soup? And they just was like, what? And I was like, okay. It was somebody else's word coming through their mind that made them say that. And I sent some negative thought corruption 2 days ago when I was talking. And I noticed that their eyes went a little dark. Like that their eyes went like hollow dark. And I said, you got some sort of vanity spirit going on with you right now. I said, you better deal with that. And I kept getting the word vanity, or whatever. And I guess they realized that thought that they had. They didn't tell me what it was, but they went into, they humbled themselves. It was like, they got intuitively that I wasn't feeling well, and then they said, I'm going to take care of you. I said, you went straight vanity when, while I was coughing. It was like something told them, like, I felt like something was trying to tell them to take advantage of me while I'm not well. It was weird. See, you just never know. Yep, y'all. Okay, I know some people want the oracles. That's all I did, y'all. Animals. I don't even want to. I don't even want, to be honest, I don't even want anything in here with people's faces anymore. I think we've seen enough of people with these YouTube videos and stuff. We've seen enough with all the rides and the stuff like that. Y'all, I just the animal, the owl, synchronicity. See through the mask. Yep. That's a power that you're being given to be able to see through false images. Make room for a better life and wisdom. Protection, turtle. I'm going to just give y'all 3 animals and y'all can research them. We all can. I'm starting to say we because I don't like that you, y'all. No, it starts to sound vain. No. Keeper of secrets. Downloads, okay? It's coming. You need quiet. The owl is here. Stillness. The owl can symbolize also minimalism. Because it could be a stoic. Owl could be a high priest or a high priestess. Rise up. Okay. Be in harmony with the rhythm of your path. Go slow. The turtle energy is here. No rush. Trust what you know. It says whatever downloads you get today, you have to keep them secret. You can't be telling everybody. See, it came out. The links for the Akashic Records. Akashic Records did come out. But it says whatever the Akashic Records, this knowledge or whatever, you if it's spiritual or if it has to do with your destiny or faith or like purpose, you can't be like telling nobody. You have to look at it like it's because it's a way for you to take care of yourself. It's going to help you with self-care, whatever it generates. So that's why you can't be just giving it away. It means create an opportunity for yourself. Like create a way to make a profit to take care of yourself. So if you're getting any downloads or any ideas or information from God, it's actually for profit, for self-care. The coyote is out here as well. It says don't take things too seriously. Yep, I got stay quiet. If somebody be disrespectful, just be like, I ain't got nothing to say. If you make a mistake, you can laugh about it. Look out for traps and tricks. Technology. See? I said the technology energy could be tricky. You may want to watch your time too. Watch your time today and watch your phone. We have to be careful of our time today because on technology it can become a problem. Yeah. You may be at risk of losing data or something crashing. Personal choice. Meditation came out. Close your eyes. There could be an animal spirit that wants to meet with you today. Synchronicity, the horse actually came out. Freedom. Yeah. And frog. That's the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is the number, a manifestation number. So, prosperity. The 7th card was the frog. Okay, so we're going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th card was the horse. The 7th card was the frog. The 5th card was personal choice. 5 is the number of spirituality and ascension. So if you're seeing 4s and 5s a day, it's because you need to detox your energy and you need to do meditation, mindfulness. Mountains could be a synchronicity as well. So cool. The owl here, the white owl is here, so snow. So you may want to allow yourself to be cool. It's a synchronicity. I said that earlier, and it actually came out. Okay. I'm going to start doing. No, let me be quiet, because it said, I heard, do not share your next move. Okay. The cougar didn't come out, but I felt like it. The coyote's here. The coyote is fine eating with like scraps and little bits of food. Believe it or not, owls, they don't eat a whole lot of food. They might grab a fish and that be it. So owls is high priests and high priestess. They do not eat a lot of food. They eat very small. Stoics eat very small meals. And the meals can be kind of boring and plain or whatever. That could be like the owl. You don't see owls eating too much hog or pig or anything like that. Not the small. They're more most fish. The frog is here. Let go of the past and embrace change. Opportunities are close at hand. Hop into this new day with joy. Abundance and good fortune awaits you. Your intuition and your senses need to be strengthened. By the turtle being here, there needs to be some frankincense, liver, throat, back. You wash my back, I wash yours. That type of situation. Also, letting other people do some of the work with the turtle. That's the Empress. If you have a man or a partner, get them to take care of you. You can give some guidance. But you do, or you need to hire somebody to do some of the work for you. It might be like too much. Yeah, no backbreaking work. Your heart is pure and free. A greater purpose calls you. You have unlimited reserves of stamina and strength. You follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams. Yeah, you need fruit in your diet today because the horse energy is here. Vegetables, a high vegetable diet with the turtle. When the turtle's out here, it also means there's a warning, like avoid fatty foods. Okay, because your liver is really important right now. And cortisol, your cortisol needs to be lower. That's why the spiritual energy is here. Low energy all the time is a sign of high cortisol. It also could be, that you have inflammation or fluid in parts of your body that's important for energy, like liver, lungs, throat, or sinuses. Yeah, breath work. Need to clear sinus. You might want to like breathe in some eucalyptus to clear it out, because the air energy is being worked on by ancestors. Okay, y'all. So, whatever you are working on in silence and you're not telling anyone about, okay, it's going to lead to something. I did start your own project and don't wait for somebody to tell you how. Like, even if you don't know how to start. So there could be a new project and new work that needs to be started. But there could be something could be needed at some sort of app or software that might be needed. I don't know if any of y'all need somebody to do the finishing touch on your work, but or your body, or you know. Horses leap, so yep, there's a leap that needs to be taken because the horse is here. What was it? Yep. It's the like a law of attraction manifesting something. Whenever the horse is out, that's about mindfulness of your energy, of what you're manifesting, allowing your intuition and your spiritual discernment to get it moving along, to just kind of go with the flow, to trust the flow of your own power, like the horses do. This is a horse that's not being steered, but might be in a group. Yeah. As I said earlier this week, if you were thinking of starting a new channel or a new business, this is the perfect time to do it. To at least get it going, get the foundation up, and then may want to start. Something definitely possibly needs to be completed because finished, because the high priest is here, the emperor of air. He's about finished business, about unfinished business, getting something done, to come to completion. Meditation will help you to find out where your support is spiritually that will get it done. Outdoor meditation is necessary. Like, go outside and meditate. There could be something on the road or something that you're headed towards that is supposed to generate some sort of success. I'm not tapping into the money. I'm not getting into that. But I will get into, yeah. Cooking is really good today. If you want to try new recipes or get something new cooking, because the new and refreshed energy is here. Cooking is out like 3 times. So, yeah. Get something new on the grill. Go somewhere, have some fun, or something of that nature. If you're feeling alone and bored, something needs to be. There's maybe a vacation or something, or a staycation could be needed. But you have to let someone take care of you before you go on this staycation. You could have to plan some sort of trip. Some of y'all may not know that a trip is going to be very beneficial. It don't have to be an expensive trip. It could just be like, it could be a trip to a coffee shop maybe, because the turtle energy is here. Yeah. Yeah, it could be a trip to some sort of to a shop or makeover, or it could help you to step into your power more, to your self-worth, so that you can increase your law of attraction or something of that nature, y'all. Okay. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. If y'all enjoyed the video, feel free to let me know. If you'd like to send a donation, you can send donations to my Cash App at #Coach V Hunter. I hope I see y'all at my other locations. Check the community news for some upcoming announcements. I will be posting some announcements all this week. Okay? All right, y'all. I'm finally having this coffee. We're going to see this decaf coffee. We're going to see what happens, y'all. That actually tastes better than the last one. The last one was a little bit too dark. That's perfect. Better. Not so groundy. I like making up words. Yeah. So I got me some calorie-free sweetener for my coffee because I didn't want any calories. I've realized that even when it's decaf coffee, the calories add up. Perfect. I finally made me a decent cup of coffee, decaf coffee. Praise the Most High. Finally. I've been trying to get this right for the longest time. Mine's is 2 tablespoons. Okay, I gotta write the measurements down. Hi, everybody. So in my French presser, I put 2 low level um, tablespoons of my decaf coffee. I'll let y'all see. Y'all want to see what's going on here. You see, this is my French presser. There it is. See, the little sweeteners. This is what I saw for the meditation. Okay, this is what came out. It's my little coffee here. It's a mess. I allow myself to be messy when I'm doing work. Because you know what? It gives yourself something to clean up. I know people love to stay organized while they're working, but I find that interferes with flow state. So I feel I'm like I want to get messy as I can while I'm working. That'll give me something to do when I'm done doing the work. I get to move my body. Hey. So the coffee I'm having, the decaf coffee I'm having, I was surprised because I bought this at a Family Dollar. I didn't think it would work with my presser, but it did. It is Clover Valley Rich Pure Taste Ground Coffee. Decaf. So it worked. And I only had to put 3 little small packs. These packs are so little. This sweetener, this Clover Valley. Okay, so it's all Clover Valley. Praise the Most High. Okay, bye everybody. Oh, we got 10 people in here. Shoot, I might continue. Y'all want me to do a little bit more while we got 10 people in here? Let's see what we get, y'all. Okay. Infinite possibilities. For some of y'all got infinite possibilities coming in the evening or afternoon. Somebody, if you get up at night, it's because there's some work to do. If you're a person that gets up at night, it's a manifestation time for you. Because that's star energy. The unicorns can still be star energy. Old soul. Walk through life with confidence and grace. That's the black jaguar. Synchronicity. I also got like Native American or indigenous support. The cat is an omen and the bison. Bison is a synchronicity. Independent, meaning don't always go with the tribe. With the cat. Okay, do things your way. You have to be distinctive and distinguished like the owl and the turtle. Okay, there needs to be some gratitude today because something wants to come through. It came out. The bison is teaching you gratitude. Okay. So the bison is abundance. Praise the Most High. All right. White candle is needed today. Soy. Clear quartz if you're into stones. Tropical, yeah, because the cat's coming in late. The cat is not, it came out. Yeah, this is tropical. You have to eat like a domestic cat today, because these are little cats. The Jaguar is out. Jaguar can still be kind of like air and earth energy. So you may want to like eat fish that can be in a creek or be fish that would probably not be so far out in the sea. Like it would be like tuna or small game if you're eating. There needs to be some small game work in order for the big game energy to come. Because this is all small game. And then the big game comes in, the horse. Yeah. Everything else before that is small game. The dragonfly is a omen card. Let me see. Yeah. Apex Predator energy is out early on. Apex. Let me see. That's not Apex. That's not Apex. The owl, though, certain owls could still be Apex. Owls are Apex because they're psychic and spiritual ability, but also they're grass. Like once they got a hold of something, they got it, like the hawk. So, and the eagle. So basically, once you lock into it intuitively, it's whatever this manifestation is yours. You just have to get started. For the owl to come out, there's angel support, so you don't really have to worry. Whatever this is guarded, because the turtle's here too. Your guardian energy is here. Yeah. It's something that you're educated in. So if you're not sure where this manifestation is a part of, it's something that you researched before. You might have done deep, quiet or peaceful research. You could have been researching this over many lives, many lifetimes. You could have been researching this in the early morning hours or after or in the evening when the stars is out or whatever, right when you're getting a little tired, you might have researched it, or yeah, could have been something you was thinking of, you could have been drawn to when you were young. Maybe you had a belief in it, but you didn't tell anybody. It was a secret belief or a secret love or secret interest. It could be something artistic. It could be something that your family members aren't doing. Okay, because the cat here says independent. Whatever this is, it's not in alignment with your flesh and blood. It's not. They're probably not going to support it. So that's why you have to move on and go your own way or something of that nature. Okay? So if you have family members that's like speaking against whatever this is, or they don't really support it, that's probably actually what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, bye everybody. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to let me know. I will get into doing private energy readings like this where I'm just kind of helping you figure out, like, drop you little clues on what could work for you without knowing what it is. Okay, I don't want to know what it is, but I can kind of give you clues on how to figure out what it is. And it's definitely what gives you peace of mind. If you walk away from it in peace of mind and faith in it, like you have peace of mind when you were doing it, and you were in a positive vibration when you did it, it's definitely it. Okay? Yeah. The thing is, it's like you're going to go against a tribe to do this. All right, there's going to be a group of people that ain't going to be feeling it. It's a group that you might have been Like I said, it could be your own family or your own tribe. For some of y'all, it's somebody that you might have been romantically involved with, or it's your siblings or whatever. They're not going to be feeling none of this, but it's actually the right thing for you to do. It's approved by the Most High, so it doesn't matter what they say. Okay, bye everybody. I'll see y'all later.